everyone, it's Kathy and welcome back here into my craft room and here on my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. Thanks so much once again for tuning in. I appreciate all of my longtime subscribers and people that are new to my channel as well. I welcome everyone here. Please come in, kick your shoes off, put your feet up, and let's do some crafting. Now, this particular set, as you see, my red sticker on this tells you that this is an online exclusive. You will not find Filled with Fun in any of our printed catalogs. You can only get this by going online and looking under online exclusives. And starting today, there are a buku of new products out there that are just online exclusives, and they've got some beautiful things, some papers, some stamp sets, dies, you name it, and it's there. And it's so exciting when we get new products to play with, and we're going to do that with this one today and see what we can come up with. Okay, the first thing I want to do is I want to bring over a piece of thick basic white cardstock, and I'm going to bring my paper trimmer out because to build a card, the first thing we need is card base. So I am going to build this. I'm trying to decide, do I want a top flip card or a side flip card? I think I'm going to go, and I normally do side open cards, but I think this time I'm going to do a top open card. So I'm going to put this in on the 8.5-inch side, and I'm going to cut it right down the middle at 4 1/4. So line it up, make sure you're up against that lip really well. That ensures that your paper is nice and straight and you're not going to get an uneven cut. We're going to cut that in half like that. And then we can turn this around. We're going to score this in just a minute. The other thing I have is a piece of lemon lolly. And this is cut, it's a 1/4 sheet. So it's actually 5.5 by 4 1/4. We're going to be using that. We're also going to be using another piece of this. So I'm going to put this in at 5.5 and cut this in half because we're going to do some stamping. So those are the pieces we're going to need for right now. I'm also going to need a piece of balmy blue. And I'm not sure what I need this to be just yet. We'll get to that as we get there. I'm thinking probably, let me look at my measurement here. I'm thinking probably 3 1/4, maybe by, I'll tell you what, we'll measure it when we get there and decide exactly what we want. The first thing I want to do is grab my Simply scoring tool, and I'm going to bring this up and we're going to sit it right here. And I'm going to take that large piece of cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 11, and I'm going to put it all the way up into this top corner of my school board, and I'm going to score it right in the middle at 5.5. Half of 11 would be 5.5. So give that a good score. And I like to turn mine over and fold this way. And I think we're good with the scoring. We can get this out of our way. And I need my bone folder, so I'm going to burnish this down really well. Give myself a good crease. And I think I want a black mat. This is just our basic black. And I'm going to cut a mat out of this. So I'm going to bring my trimmer back up. And I want this mat to be 4 by 5 1/4. So 4 inches this way. Go ahead and line that all up. And then cut. We're going to turn it and cut it at 5 1/4. Just like that. So now we have our card base and we have a mat. It's a little bit fuzzy right there. If you get, my blade probably needs to be changed, and sometimes the black paper shows the fray worse than some of the others, but it looks a little bit frayed right there. If you have a little sanding block or even a little nail file type thing. You can go across it and clean that up and you won't notice it, and you won't notice it. But that is usually an indication that it's time to change your blade. And I haven't changed mine in quite a bit, so that's probably the case. All right. So I'm going to move that out of my way. We'll need that again. And I'm going to build everything up before I glue anything down to make sure it's like I want it. The next piece we're going to need is this balmy blue. And I want this piece to be about about 3 1/4. So let's cut it at 3 1/4, and that's my width. 3 1/4, and I think lengthwise I need it to be maybe about 4. So let's just cut it at 4. That'll be a decent length, and I know that it's going to suit me for what I want it for. So there is our one mat. Now the next part of this, I actually made my own designer series paper by using my lemon lolly and using a a background stamp. And I'm going to show you how I did that. I'm going to bring in my stamp positioner, and I'm going to put this in the corner, something like that. Maybe I'll bring it all the way up that way. And let's grab this. It's called Sketched Plaid. This is the stamp set, and it is a background stamp. And when I say it's a background stamp, it's just one big stamp. And all I did was I loaded it onto this piece of paper, inked it up with Daffodil Delight, stamped it, and this is what I got. And I don't think I need to redo that, since you can very easily see how that came about. So I'm just going to leave that in there for now. And I'll lay this over here so I don't forget to add that into my description when I'm making all my products of what I use. So we're going to use a piece of this, and I want to cut it. I want to cut it off because I'm only going to need a small amount. So I'm building that there, and I want this to come right about here. And I'm going to cut it off right about on this line right there. So I'm going to line it up in my trimmer to about 2 1/4. So if you're measuring this is going to be 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. And then that can go something like that. Isn't that pretty? Now we're going to run that through an embossing folder. Now we're going to get to our stamping, and that's always the most fun part. So let's bring out our cute little stamps. I'm going to use the wagon, and I have it already loaded on a block. And here's my piece of white paper that I'm going to stamp with. And we're going to do the little flowers. So I have them loaded up. And we're going to do the wagon, the little pull thing for the wagon. And of course, we got to have a wheel. Actually 2 wheels. So I am going to bring over I'm going to use the VersaFine ink for my flowers and for my wheels. So I'm going to stamp this first, do my flowers. And the reason I'm using the VersaFine is because this is a pigment ink, and I want to use my water-based markers, my Stampin' Right markers. And normally with Stampin' Up, they carry StazOn. StazOn stains my stamps too much. So I don't like to use StazOn unless I'm stamping on a non-porous surface that really calls for the solvent ink. So I'm going to put that right there, give it a good press. And there we go. There's our beautiful little flowers. Now we need 2 wheels. So I'm going to do a wheel here. And a wheel here. And then we're going to do our wagon. And I played with this earlier, and I did pumpkin pie, and I think I'm going to go with that. I'm just going to go with the little woody wagon. I thought it was really cute. So I'm going to ink this up in the pecan pie, and I'm going to stamp it right up here. And as you can see, we're getting all of our stamping done on one piece of paper. So cute. All right, so now I can close up this ink, and I want to come in with my Stampin' Right markers, and we are going to do our flowers. I'm using, again, those the new core colors. I told you this was a free set of Stampin' Right markers. I'm going to take out the pecan pie. I think I used that for my centers. And we are going to use the berry burst, the blueberry, I think this is blueberry bushel. Let's also grab a fresh freesia. And we're going to need a green. And I'm going to grab from my other markers, and I'm going to grab a old olive. And I think we're good to go. I think we can get most of those out of there. We might come back in here and pull another color, but I'm not sure. Let's go in with our brush tip, and I'm just going to put some color down on my leaves. I'm going to speed this up while I'm coloring so that you don't have to sit and watch paint dry, and we'll come right back together once I get everything colored. Okay, I got the flowers all done, and now we are ready to bring over the dies, and we are going to cut these out. The great thing about the dies is we have a die for everything. So here's the little wagon. So let's line that up. Let me get the flowers. Oh, I didn't stamp the this little thing, the little pull, the wagon pull. So I do need to do that as well. And I'm going to do that in the pecan pie as well. So let's go ahead and get that inked up. And we'll put it right about here. Now we're ready to get our dies on top of everything, and we can run this through our die cut machine, and all of our pieces will be done and cut with one swipe. That's the good thing about having the dies. A lot of times if you have enough of dies, and they did put 2 wheels in there, so it makes it nice when you can cut everything in one shot. So I'm going to use my little Post-it flags. I love these. And let's do this one more this way. And let's grab this little piece. It's going to go here. Making sure I'm getting everything lined up. That like that. And then we've got our 2 wheels. And here's a wheel and here's a wheel. So all we have to do is line these up. And I think we can use one Post-it flag for both of those wheels, I think. We're going to try it. And then we need one up here for this. Get our wagon all lined up perfectly. And put that right there. All right, so we can put our dies over here, move our stamp blocks, and let's go ahead and run this through our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So of course I'm using the big one because I'm going to do this all in one task. These will fit in the mini. All of these pieces will fit in the mini. But if you're doing like what I'm doing and you're trying to push them all through at one time, you will need the larger machine. And there is my number 1 plate, my number 2 thin die adapter plate, my very loved and used cut plate, my dies on my cardstock, and then a cover plate over top of it. And let's crank everything through. And we got all of that cut in one shot, and that makes it just absolutely wonderful when you can do that. So I'm going to lift my piece. The only thing that fell out was one wheel, so that's good. So I'm going to lay it right there, move my plates and our machine. And now we can bring this all over and pull everything off. All of our little sticky, and I use these over and over. You can get so many uses out of those. And if you're interested in those, they're in my craft room favorites. That's over on my Amazon store, and they come in a pack like this, and that suctions to your desk so they don't move when you need to pull one out. You can pull it out just like that, which makes it super, super easy to use. I love them for that reason. So let's get our wheels and dies all back where they belong. I always like to put my dies back so I don't misplace them. They're so easy to get lost, and y'all know how aggravating it is to lose a die. So what I do is I gather them all up and I just drop them back into the envelope like that, so that at least I know they're all in one place. So now we can go ahead and start putting everything together. So the first thing I want to do is I want to glue my wheels to my wagon, and I'm not going to be doing it in any shape, form, or fashion. I'm going to use some glue, and I'm going to take glue and run it just around where the hub of the wheel would go. So in this little arc, I'm just going to run some glue. I figured this isn't rocket science. It doesn't have to be extremely perfect. We just need wheels on a wagon. So just put that in like that. Now we have our little pulley, and I want my wagon, you could do it up like this. I like it like that. I like the pull to look like it's leaning, because when I think of a wagon, I'm always thinking that little pull thing is kind of leaning. So I want mine to lean. So I'm going to put it in at an angle, just like that. Isn't that cute? I mean, that's cute already. And then we have our flowers, and look at what the die did. It gave us a place so that we can stick the flowers up underneath the wagon so that they can look like they're actually coming out. And it's so cute. All right, I'm going to lay that over for a minute, because remember that blue piece that we had? I want to run it through an embossing folder. And I have one of my basic 3D embossing folders, and these were online exclusives as well. These are not new. They've been around for a good little bit, but you get 3 of these in a pack. So they're like $10 a piece, which is $30 for the pack of 3. But for 3 nice basic 3D embossing folders, that's not a bad price. Most everywhere you go and get embossing folders, they're going to cost, $9 or $10 anyway. So I'm going to put in my number 1 plate, and I am going to lay in my number 4 specialty plate, but I'm going to put my folder in first with my cardstock in it, and then lay that number 4 plate over it, and we're just going to crank the whole thing through. And this number 4 specialty plate, all of this comes with your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So out of the box, you have everything you need. You won't have to buy anything extra to do everything that this machine will do. And there is our embossed polka dots. Isn't that cute? I love polka dots. I think they're so cute. So who doesn't love polka dots? I think if you're girly, you're automatically going to be in love with anything that has some polka dots on it. So we're going to bring this all back over. And I'm going to build on this mat first. So what I want to do is I want to bring my blue piece over, and I'm going to center this, not really center, but I'm going to make sure I got the even amount on each side, which looks to be about a half an inch. Yeah, about a half an inch. And I want about a quarter of an inch at the top. So I'm going to put glue on the back of this and just stick it down. It's always so much fun to play with new stamps and just see what you can come up with. That to me, that's the most fun part of being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator is I get to play with all this stuff and create pretty things and then bring them to y'all, and I love that aspect of it. So I'm gonna straighten that up a little bit. That's not where I want it. Oh, come on, come down just a hair. There. That's pretty good. Now I'm going to take this piece, and I wanted it to overlap. I wanted it to be a little bit wider, and I wanted it to overlap my polka dots. So this piece we're going to put down, and I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal for it. Before I put this down, though, I want to use a piece of ribbon, and I'm trying to decide if I want to use. I'll show you the one that I did. I did this one, and this was basically me just playing around, and I thought the white kind of got lost. So I thought it might look prettier on the black, so I thought we'd try it. But I used this ribbon, and this is a beautiful sort of a burlap type ribbon, and it's a stunning piece of ribbon. But I thought for this one, maybe since I'm using the black, I'll come in with my black and white gingham. This is so pretty, and I think it will look pretty on here since it will really pull that black in. So that's why I'm doing that. So what I want to do before I go any further, I want to grab my tearing tape, and I'm going to put a piece of tearing tape down each side of this piece of cardstock, the one that I cut, the one that I made out of the Lemon Lolly and the Daffodil Delight ink. So I'm just going to put a piece here, burnish it, and tear it. Same thing here, go all the way over to the side, put it down, burnish it, and tear it, just like that. I like to give it a good burnish, and sometimes just your fingernail is enough to do it. And then we're going to pull that off. There we go. And now I can take my ribbon and decide where I want that ribbon to go. I think I want this to the bottom. So I want my ribbon right through that little piece there. So I'm going to lay my ribbon where I want it on the front, and then I'm just going to wrap that underneath, just like that. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, just making sure that everything meets really well. Something like that. Then I can take my scissors and I can just trim that off right there, and I don't have a lot of excess waste. And look, that is really cute on there, isn't it? That's going to give us a place to ground the rest of our little wagon. We need a place to ground it, so I thought that would be really cute. So I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal on the rest of this. And we've got that tearing tape on the side, so everything's going to stick really well. So I'm going to bring that down to the bottom where I want it, and I'm checking side to side. And once I know I got it about where I want it, I'm going to look at it and then give it a good press. Now we can bring our little wheelie wagon back in. I love that. I think it's just so adorable. And I'm trying to decide if I think I'm just going to do glue right across this little place that it gives you. See the little place it gives you? And it's actually like even a little score line there. I'm going to go on that little tab that the die provided for us. and just run some glue. And then I'm going to set that glue into the wagon and then just give it a good press. And then this is ready to go on our card. How stinking cute is that? And I think I'm going to let my wheels sit on the actual ribbon. I think that'll look really cute. We're going to pop this up on some dimensionals because I definitely want this to have a dimensional look. And I'm going to pop several of my Stampin' Dimensionals on the wheels and across the top, and then maybe just a little bit across that middle. Couple right there in the middle, I think would be plenty. And let's take these off. Those off like that. Trying not to get them to stick back onto my piece. You know, if these things hit upside down on your sticky, then they kind of ruin it. I don't know if you've had that to happen, but I know I have. All right, now we're going to set the wheelie wagon. I love the wheelie wagon. We're going to set this down right about there. And I set it over this way some because we've got this sticking out, and I need that to be in the perimeter of my card. We're going to need a sentiment. So I'm going to look back into the stamp set for a sentiment. And we've got one that says celebrating someone special. That would be so cute. And we could put it across the top, maybe over that little banner. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to stamp this right at the very bottom. Like that. I'm going to stamp that banner again. I'm going to make this work. Sometimes we have to do trial and error until we get something like we want it. And I always say, don't be discouraged. You know, don't give up. Just keep trying until you get what you're looking for. So I'm going to stamp this up higher. Like that. And I'm going to grab the dies again. And I'm going to grab out the little banner flag die. Like I said, you got a die for everything in this set, which is fantastic. And I'm going to cut this off. So I'm just going to use my scissors for that right now. I'm going to cut this off right about there. And lay this over to the side so we don't lose it. Oh, if you could see my desk. Y'all cannot see my desk. It is a mess. But I am a messy crafter. I wish I wasn't, but I am. And but I'm one of those people that I can't move on to my next project until I clean up the stuff from the one I just finished working on. So my desk will be completely cleaned off when I finish this project, everything put in its proper place, and then I can move on to another project. That's just the way I roll. All right, I'm going to run this through my die cut machine. And I think for this one, we can probably do the little one. Might have to cut that down a little bit more. Like right about here. Like that. And grab my plates. This one's a little bit different. You have your base plate and your 2 cut plates. So I have one plate dedicated for my cut and one for my cover. And I'm just going to stagger my plates and then we will crank this through. There is banner is ready to go. Love it, love it, love it. And we can put that right here. We could do it over the wagon if you wanted to, which could be really cute. but I really want it up here. I want it right there. And I'm going to take my paper snips and I am going to cut this little piece out. So I'm going to go very close to celebrating. I probably should have put this on my trimmer. Would have been the smartest thing to do because I can't cut straight for nothing. So let's bring in our trimmer and let's line that up right there. And snip it off. Beautiful. We'll turn it and we're going to do the same thing across the celebrate. And another thing that these little flags come in handy for, if you're putting something down like this and you're afraid it's going to move, you can put one of these on it and it helps hold it in place. So you can cut it just like that. And then let's cut this end off right here. And we have got our little banner. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of hook that to the bottom of this with a little bit of glue on each end. So I'm just going to put a tad of glue there and here. And then we can pop this on. Like that. Then this is ready to be popped up on our card just like that. So I'm going to turn this over and grab some dimensionals. And let's put some like this and like that. Maybe one more here and here. I just don't want this to pop off. And we are putting it up here on the top of this bumpy embossing folder. So peel these off. And let's set that right there in the center top. And what a cute little card this is. Now, if you wanted to tie a bow over here, you most certainly could. Take a little piece of your ribbon and make yourself a little makeshift bow. I'm just doing like the little bunny ear bow. Once you get your loops like you want them, then you can kind of straighten everything out, and it's a cute little bow like that. And we're going to cut the tails kind of short. And we can put that right there using a glue dot, or we could put it right here in the middle with a glue dot. But I think it will look cute right here. I like it right there. So I'm going to take a glue dot. And I'm going to press my bow into the glue dot, just like that. And then we can put that down just like so. How stinking cute is that? So now we have a cute little wheelie wagon filled with love and beautiful flowers, and I think the card turned out beautiful. Now it is a top flip card, so we can put a couple of mats inside. So let's go ahead and complete it off with a piece of black. And we're going to do this one at 4, about 5 1/4. And we're going to do a lemon lolly at 3 3/4 by 5. And we can stamp our happy birthday on this and layer that up inside just like this. What a festive spring card for anybody that has a spring birthday. Isn't that beautiful? So we'll put that down in there like that, and we'll get a beautiful happy birthday stamp, stamp the inside. Now let's look at what we have for birthday stamps. The biggest wish. I haven't used this one in a while, and we're going to do the happy in a bright color, and then birthday. I think that's what I want to do. Let's do happy and birthday. I think that'll be really pretty on the inside of this card. So let's open it back up, and I'm going to go just with black because I think it's going to look very pretty with the happy and then the birthday going through it. So let's grab another stamp block. Grab my black ink. Oh, it's right in front of me, y'all, and I couldn't find it for looking. And I know you've done that too. We all have. And I got stuff getting ready to fall off of my desk and just hit the floor. So hopefully if you hear a big bang, don't be concerned. It's just another one of my little mishaps. So I'm going to ink that up really good and stamp happy. And then we're going to do birthday. And I think I'm going to do birthday across the happy, sort of like this. I love it. I love it when things are a little different than the norm. And this stamp set was made for something like that. So let's go ahead and open this up. Let's put a little Stampin' Seal around on here. And then let's set this down. Like so. And then we can go ahead and a little bit more Stampin' Seal. And we're ready to put this into the center of our card, the inside center. Like so. And there is our happy birthday card. We used quite a few products on this card, but isn't it gorgeous? And look, when you open it, you've got a beautiful happy birthday, plenty of room to sign. I love the way this turned out. I think it's festive, it's colorful, it looks springy, and anyone would be happy to receive a card like this on their special day. God bless and keep you, and thank you so much for tuning in once once again today for this tutorial. And also, if you're interested in purchasing any of the products, this is available today along with all of the other online exclusives. So go over to my website. The link will be in the video below, or below the video. There's a link that will take you to my online store. Go there and type in under the search online exclusives, and all of the things that are available for online that are not shown in a catalog anywhere will show up right there for you to look at, browse, and shop if you like. If you're not currently working with a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would appreciate your business immensely. So I hope everyone has a great start to their week, the first week of March. And yeah, stay well and stay blessed. And remember what I always say in closing: let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Savior. Jesus is worthy. So until next time, God bless and keep you. And bye bye.